JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, blacks charged with Hanover murder. 30-year-old Chanel Flemings, otherwise called Blacks, has been charged with murder following an incident on Willie DeLissa Boulevard in Lucy, Hanover, on January 7. That is 45-year-old Everett Ennis of Phase 3, Londalo in Westmoreland. The police said that about 5:25 a.m., both men got into an argument and a struggle ensued, during which Flemings allegedly used a knife to stab Ennis in the chest and abdomen. The police were called, and on their arrival, Flemings was seen attempting to flee the scene. He was accosted and searched, and a knife, believed to be the murder weapon, was found on his person. He was subsequently charged on Friday after being interviewed in the presence of his attorney. 5th Clarendon House firebombed in 2 weeks. A 5th Clarendon family has now been displaced in less than 2 weeks as hoodlums firebombed their house on Friday night. It is the third such incident in Lioneltown over the period and has left the residents living in fear. Right now, we have to go in as it touched the night. So we have to put up. We don't know what will happen. The place will run away, one resident said on Saturday, as he called for the presence of enough soldiers in the place on the capture land to cure the increase in violence. Another resident, stating that the atmosphere was tense, shared that children in the community are now traumatized. The pitney them traumatized, them can't sleep at night time. We are called for peace. We want them something have to stop. We want everybody to come back together and live like how we used to live, the resident pleaded. Clarendon's Southeastern Member of Parliament, Pernell Charles Jr., said that although investigations were still ongoing, it can be reasonably assumed that it is connected to the reprisals and the back-and-forth violence between residents in the area. A stern-talking Charles called on citizens to cooperate with the police and made a pledge to put in investment, whatever it is, whether it is cameras, to gather evidence, convict persons or get rid of them, but we can't allow for criminals to feel free to operate in this space. He added that he was not surprised by the bombings. In fact, it was always anticipated based on the profile of the community. For him, the solution now is to change that profile and do not wait for such incidents to occur, then react, but to address the root cause with intervention from a number of institutions. We'll be working with the educational institutions that people are not just going to school, but they are learning, working to increase training opportunities and working to increase the employment opportunities for young males, he said, adding that they are the highest proportion of victims and perpetrators. Charles called on the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Food for the Poor Jamaica, as well as other stakeholders to assist the displaced families who need beds, mattresses, clothing, and other supplies. 10 men in police custody after operations in Seaforth, St. Thomas. 10 men are now in police custody after police operations in Seaforth, St. Thomas on Friday. The police were searching for wanted men. The police seized an illegal firearm, 16 rounds of ammunition, and 50 pounds of ganja. 6 men believed to be persons of interest in relation to shootings in Seaforth were arrested in the first operation conducted on Navier Lane between 5:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. 1 firearm and ammunition were found in an open lot. 4 men wanted for questioning in relation to gun and drug-related offenses were arrested during the second operation on Moody Lane about 11:40 a.m. The police found a drum containing 50 pounds of ganja in an abandoned hut. Fire destroys PNP Northeast St. Ann Constituency office. Fire suspected to be the work of arsonists destroyed the People's National Party's PNP Northeast St. Ann Constituency office in St. Anne's Bay on Saturday morning. Constituency Secretary James Walsh said that the fire was spotted coming from inside the building at around 4 a.m., at which time the fire brigade was summoned. He said he believed the incident to be an act of vandalism. We lost desk, chairs, fridge, stove. The gas cylinder is not there. That's all we can identify as having been taken. We don't know if other things were taken before they set the fire, Walsh disclosed. He added, we find it very disturbing. All the evidence indicates it's arson, and that seems to be the verdict of the police and the fire people based on what they said. Walsh, who stated that he believes this was done in malice, was quick to point out that he does not believe it was politically motivated. We're not accusing anybody, because there's no political thing going on. We find it strange that there was no fire during the election campaign, but now there's a fire. So we think it's a case of vandalism and malice, he said. Walsh said the party already had plans to expand the building and that a cleanup of the premises will commence shortly. We already started planning to build back better. We actually had plans to expand the office before, so now we plan to build back better. We know it's arson, but the motive we can't say for sure, Walsh concluded. Superintendent Dwight Paul of the Central Police said that investigations into the fire are ongoing. 4 murders a day. Authorities look to yet another plan to address crime crisis. Jamaica averaged 4 murders per day over the first 42 days of this year. For a bloody 6-day stretch, which started on January 29, average daily murders climbed to 5, when a total of 30 persons were killed, including 10 on January 31 alone. A total of 168 murders were recorded island-wide between January 1 and last Thursday, a 9% increase over the comparative period last year, according to the latest figures compiled by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. Their willingness to shoot people has not waned, stated Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson of the marauding criminals. It has been consistent over 20 years, and I'm glad, actually, that persons are recognizing that this persistent level, unbroken for 20 years, is a crisis. Up to the end of January, Trinidad and Tobago recorded 25 murders, while New York City, with a population of nearly 8 million residents, recorded 33 homicides up to February 7. We're in trouble. The killings has gotten away from us, lamented Milton Tomlinson, an intervention specialist with the Peace Management Initiative, PMI. The Jamaican police have recorded nearly 14,000 murders in the last decade, 80% of which involved the use of a gun. The chilling murder figures are a constant reminder of the failure by successive administrations to tame the crime monster, despite tough talk, promises, and a plethora of studies, crime plans, and anti-crime measures. We have studies to show that 80% of the people in prison come from 20 schools. We have studies to show you stop high violence. We have studies to show you deal with the epidemic of violence and other epidemics, Commissioner Anderson acknowledged last week. Plan Secure Jamaica and the National Consensus on Crime are the latest measures aimed at reining in the country's murder rate, which was stopped in the region last year at 46.5 per 100,000, according to the latest study of Latin America and the Caribbean. The Consensus on Crime is an ambitious social partnership signed between the 2 main political parties and various stakeholder groups in August 2019 to mount a long-term, sustained assault on the crime problem by dismantling criminal gangs and reforming the police force and the justice system. Plan Secure Jamaica was crafted and implemented during the first term of the Andrew Holness-led administration. With a projected capital injection of 176 billion Jamaican dollars, or $1.2 billion over the first 7 years, starting in the 2016-2017 financial year. The plan includes strengthening of the national security architecture and the criminal justice system. It also includes protecting and securing Jamaica's borders, maritime space, and key sectors of the economy. Almost 5 years into the initiative, the government has already pumped approximately 46 billion Jamaican dollars on the security side of the program, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has confirmed. Other state agencies have spent several $billion, but those figures, Chang said, were not immediately available. But with Jamaica averaging over 1,300 killings in the last 5 years, Chang acknowledged that it is a bit frustrating that you don't have the levels of decrease that you'd like to see, and he warned that it could take years before Jamaicans see the full impact of the latest crime plan. 36 COVID cases at South Camp Adult Correctional Center. The Department of Correctional Services, DCS, is reporting 36 new positive cases of COVID-19 in the inmate and staff population at the South Camp Adult Correctional Center within the last 24 hours. The department said of the new cases confirmed, 28 were inmates and 8 were members of staff. The DCS said that 5 new cases were received from tests conducted last week at the South Camp Adult, triggering swabs being done for 81 persons. Director of Medical Services in the department, Dr. Donna Michelle Royer-Powell said the South Camp Adult Facility was visited by Dr. Strawn Johnson, Senior Medical Officer in Kingston and St. Andrew, and a contingent from the Public Health Department, whose objective was to review existing protocols and make recommendations for an improvement that would aid us in managing the spread within the inmate population. Dr. Royer-Powell highlighted that the recommendations made by the team today and last week, when the first batch of positive cases were recorded at the facility, are in effect. The department said it has been consultative in its approach to managing the pandemic within the penal institutions, collaborating with the Ministry of Health and Wellness and public health departments to conduct testing programs in centers once any positive cases are detected. It noted that currently there are 39 active inmate cases and 10 staff cases in the department. 270 more test positive for COVID-19. 4 patients die. Jamaica recorded 270 new cases of COVID-19 as 4 patients succumbed to the virus in the last 24 hours. The new cases bring the total number of cases that have been recorded in the island to 19,305, and the death toll is now 378. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the latest victims are a 90-year-old woman from Trelawney, an 86-year-old woman from Trelawney, a 78-year-old man from Kingston and St. Andrew, and a 59-year-old man from Portland. The ministry also reported 2 more deaths as coincidental and another under investigation. Of the 270 newly reported cases, there were 160 males and 110 females with ages ranging from 20 days to 89 years. The cases were recorded in St. Catharines 73, Kingston and St. Andrew 49, Manchester 38, St. James 22, St. Anne 19, Trelawney 16, St. Elizabeth 15, Westmoreland 14, Hanover 10, Clarendon 9, St. Thomas 4, and St. Mary 1. There were also 42 new patient recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 12,635. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share. Leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.